Hey guys, welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel. And guys, today in preparation for spring fishing, we're going to be talking about red lures. Everybody that has bass fished very long, you hear all the time that you need to use red in the spring. There is a lot of myths surrounding this, and I want to clarify it today's video and really talk to you guys when red works the best, because it's like a lot of different stuff in fishing. You get like this preconceived notion about the way things are, and it's not as simple as that. It's not there. It's like things it's like in bass fishing, there's no absolutes. And I want to give you guys some tips and advice on when I have done the best on red, the situations that I use it in, and the things that have been productive for me, and how I've caught a lot of fish on red. So we're going to identify that in today's video here. Also, guys, before we get started, a couple quick things. Thank you very much for everybody that's been taking time to order your spring fishing tackle through my tackle warehouse link, man. If you guys like intuitive angling and you want to support the channel and show your support, just going into the description of every video I put in there, I put it in every video. Got my tackle warehouse link in there. If you use and bookmark that link, it's a great way to support the channel. And also, guys, we're getting ready. You've heard me talking about it. This Thursday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, we got my first live stream. Now, this is a private live stream I'll be doing every week from now on for my intuitive angling and all my channel members and my Patreon members. So if you guys would like to be part of that live stream every week moving forward, just go to my homepage and click on the join button for information. We got a bunch of different levels, or go into my video description and click on the Patreon program and sign up for that. And I'm really looking forward to this, guys. You can shoot me your comments. I'll answer your questions live on the live feed. We're going to be talking about pre-spawn bass fishing in this first one. So hope to see you guys there. I really appreciate that. Okay, red lures, guys. And most of the time when you're talking about red, it's some type of a crankbait. I mean, there's other, you can have red on jigs and stuff, and chatterbaits, but a lot of times it's going to be crankbait fishing. Now, a lot of this was made famous. I don't know if a lot of you guys that have been fishing very long, you may or may not have heard of it, but there's a term called Rayburn Red that was coined a long time ago, like 40 years ago, where on Sam Rayburn Lake in Texas, a red rattle trap was like one of the staples down there every spring. Anytime between like January to March, Rayburn Red rattle trap won a lot of tournaments, and everybody sort of spread over into other parts of the bass fishing community where red was a really good bait in the springtime. And then in correlation with the with the lipless crankbait, the rattle trap, the wigglewort, which originated here in the Ozarks where I live, the reds and the oranges and the greens and the browns and those natural crawdad looking patterns were a staple in the springtime of the year. So you had this association with like the wigglewort and the rattle trap as spring fishing with red, being the best time to use it. And don't get me wrong, there's some truth to this, but that's not why it is the best. And let me explain to you guys why it is, because red will work a lot of different times throughout the year, not just in the springtime of the year. A lot of people put it down after the spring, but it can be good throughout the entire year at certain times. So let's talk a little bit about when you want to use red, because for me, it's like so much of the stuff I talk about here on the channel, it has to do with water clarity and water temperature. There are two windows that I have found that red works good on in terms of water clarity and water temperature. And the number one is like red works good. Now, this is the number one thing you need to remember. Red works good when the water temperature is in the 50s. Anytime the water temperature is between 50 and 59 degrees, you have got a red lure bite going on somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's in the 50s in March, or if it's in the 50s like in November or December. There's something about it, and again, it's one of those mysteries of fishing. I can't explain what it is, but I have seen reproducible results in my own fishing. When it gets into the 50s, red works pretty good. And in correlation with that, there's a water clarity window for red to work in correlation with the water temperature. And that water clarity window is normally about 1.5 to 3 foot in that range, anywhere between that range. Now, of course, this is affected a little bit by your light intensity. I mean, if you have a bright sunny day, it could affect, that clarity range on one end of it, or if you have a cloudy day, it could affect the effectiveness on the other ends of the range. But basically, that's what you're looking at, about 1.5 to 3 foot of visibility with water temperatures in the 50s. That is a perfect scenario for that. Another thing with red that I found out is red is not a very good color to use around any type of a wood cover. To me, red is a rock cover, a rock color, and a grass color. It's really good over any type of submergent, hydrilla or milfoil or anything like that if you have the right water temperature and right water clarity. And then again, it's really good on any type of rocky banks, specifically the chunk rock type banks or the larger rock, like, basketball size rock, something as, rocks as, big as a, ball, just a 3 or 4 foot size rock. Those big type of rocks where those crawdads will hang into. Those are the times that it works really good. And another time is red usually works better on those lower light, windy days. That's another factor that goes into it because, red is a pretty dark color. It silhouettes itself. So in terms of like when you want to use red, let's sort of like, review this. And this is sort of what you need to file away in your memory. Water temperatures in the 50s, that's number 1. Water clarity, 1.5 to 3 foot, number 2. Number 3, it helps if you have wind. Number 4, it helps if you have a lower light condition. Now that lower light can be shade or it can be some type of cloud cover. And number 5, rock or grass cover. When you have those variables that come together, again, it doesn't matter if it's in March or if it's in November, this is when it's going to be a prime situation for red for all 3 species of bass. Largemouth, spotted bass, and smallmouth are going to react to that really good. And there's also different variations in red. It's like red, it can be an accent color or it can be a primary color like this. So the degree of the amount of red in there is a matter of experimentation. And if this sounds a little bit complicated, it is complicated because bass fishing, when you're talking about the variables that contribute to your success, the success or lack of it, there's so much that has to come together in order for you to have a good day on the water. Now, you don't have to have everything come together. It's like everything does not have to be perfect for you to actually catch fish, but to maximize the number of fish you catch and have the best day that you can possibly have, all of those factors, the more factors that you have come together will make red a lot more effective. And ultimately, like anything else, guys, which this is one of the most difficult things to accept in bass fishing, is you have to just see what the fish want. You have to experiment. You got to have a starting point because if you don't have a starting point, that can be very intimidating. But what I try to do on the channel here is I try to give you guys a starting point, like a foundation to begin at, and then you can make those adjustments on the water as you go along. I mean, you may have different shades of red or different variations or accent colors or primary colors, and you can just tweak them based upon the situation that you find. But that is the main thing with it. Okay, now on the other end of the spectrum, there's one other situation where red works really good in, and that is for a smallmouth only northern strain smallmouth bite. Now, this is going to be relegated to all you dudes that fish the Great Lakes a lot up there, lakes like Lake St. Clair, Lake Champlain, Mille Lacs, Saginaw Bay, all that type of stuff where those big smallmouth populations are at. A red lure is really good for smallmouth in the middle of the summer. And especially like a red crankbait, if you burn it, is really good. Smallmouth love red in the summertime. And the first time I got onto this is I was fishing up a tournament up at Lake Champlain, and I drew this a co-angler. This has been a long time ago. This has been like 30 years ago or something. And this co-angler whacked him out of the back of my boat on a red wigglewort. And this was like a September tournament. I was in shorts in the tournament, Clearwater smallmouth. And he was telling me he was like from New Jersey or somewhere, and he knew a little bit about the lake, and he was just telling me about how good red was in the summertime for smallmouth. I didn't know that. That was like the first I'd ever heard it, but that's how you figure things out. It's like bass fishing. It's like there's so much out there that you have never done before that other people have tried that have success on it, and that's why on any given day in bass fishing, one person can beat another person. I mean, you can take Kevin Van Dam and put him in a boat, and then you can take some dude that has maybe caught 5 bass in his entire life, and if they fish together enough, eventually the dude that only caught 5 bass is going to have a day where he beats Kevin Van Dam because he'll try something off the wall that Kevin never thought about trying. That's why it's really important in bass fishing, and this is one thing to remember, guys, is that your PowerPoint as an angler, as far as your advantage, lies within your own unique ability and your ingenuity and your creativity that you have and just that you alone have. Everybody has their own uniqueness in that terms as far as their creativity and their imagination. So lean in on that a little bit. I mean, if you got something that you want to try that nobody else has ever tried and you've never heard it working, just give it a try, because that's how new things come up. Like the dude that caught the smallmouth on the red wigglewort in the middle of the summer. I never would have tried that in a million years. And he was open-minded enough to try that. So anyway, that's just one of the complexities about bass fishing. But anyway, guys, that's just a little seminar on red. I hope it helps you guys coming up this spring, which it is a good spring bait, don't get me wrong. And hope you guys do well on it. We'll talk later.